So we did get, and that was just an initial cut. I didn't heal into this at all. We should be able to get pretty close to bare wood just on that little bit of section there. I just wanted to change positions with this and just give it a little bit more pressure and then see how it operates and how it cuts and removes the aluminum oxide. So American Sanders has a new planetary sander called the Phoenix. This is a modular unit, and we're going to do a complete unbox here, and then we're actually going to go and demonstrate it on our shop floor here at City Floor Supply in our repair shop. So we'll pull these tabs out here. Open the unit, and it's going to be the same on the back side. We'll open the back side up. You won't be able to see it on camera. Same concept. We're just going to pull the tabs and open it up. The first thing you're going to see, obviously, is your power cord. So this unit, when we get it out, you'll see is a 220 volt unit. This is 50 feet of cord for the 220 volts. Okay. So just some packing material. And that's the Phoenix unit. So we have our multi-directional handle here. So that'll spin 180 degrees down towards me or towards the motor head, just like it did during shipping here. All right, so we have it out of the box and upright. Just a couple things to point out. First off, we've got our LED light, which is adjustable. We have our carry handle, voltmeter and hour meter. So you'll be able to indicate how much voltage is coming in and monitor, how much time that the unit's been used, either on a job or for maintenance. You've got your vac hose assembly, which will work with the planetary drive and the regular disc drive, and then transport wheels. So the transport wheels on this, really nice because you got a 10-inch wheel as opposed to a standard buffer, 4 or 5-inch wheel, which this still has, but right now with the transport cart on, kind of supersedes the smaller wheel. Going to allow you to get up a curb, through a driveway, through a garage, up the garage steps, into the job site, and be able to take that off and not have any debris get on the floor that you're going to be operating the unit on. We do have, like I said earlier, a multi-directional handle system. You can go either way with this unit, and you'll just find your comfort height for however you're going to operate it. If you're going to operate it as a planetary sander, or if you're going to operate it with the single drive disc like a standard screen, or say you're going to use the Hydrosand, or even the Super Hydrosand, the 20-inch unit that has 6 discs on it. So we'll go ahead and flip this up, give you an idea what it looks like underneath. Before I do that, I do want to show you just taking off this transport unit. So that's your transport cart, comes off pretty easy. They use these locking pin systems. It's pretty similar to what if you have the American Sander's Legend sander, where the carry handle goes into the front, and the handle system to carry the motor on that system if you pull off the motor from your sander. Pretty similar. So looks like it's, you know, all meant to fit together as a sanding system. And I want to emphasize this, that this is a Modular motor system. Single phase, 230 volts, 3 horsepower. It is going to drive the gearbox unit at 170 RPMs, which is your standard buffer RPM for what we sand in our industry. And that's what we operate for RPMs. So the weight of this unit is about 170 to 175 pounds, as you see it here. And again, I have to put the gear system on it. Stripped down with everything off of it, I would say it's probably closer to 135, maybe 140. But just feeling the weight of this, you know, this is going to be a pretty aggressive sanding machine. So of the 2 boxes that we have to open, again, a standard drive block for, you know, a white pad, you know, a maroon pad in between coat abrasion, that kind of thing, that kind of sanding. That's in this box, and that's a 16-inch. And then inside the deeper box, some packing. We have the gear skirt for the Phoenix Modular system. That's the 16-inch. The drive block that's gear driven. 4 heads, 5-inch. And the dust skirt for it. So we're down here at the head of the machine. What you're seeing is the gearbox, and then the standard skirt that it comes with for dust collection. It has, you know, a port for your dust collection system. And we're going to pop off this skirt, but this is the one that your standard drive block, and then the dust skirt will go around here. So pretty familiar if you run any kind of dust collection system on a standard, you know, horse and a half buffer, be the same system. And then to remove this system, and what makes this, you know, truly modular, is we're going to lift up on this clip here and spin this plate off. So the skirt comes off. It's just a small spring clip that locks it in, and then you can disengage it from these mounts. You can see that this makes it, you could put a 13-inch on here. Again, you could put 17, you can put the 20. We're going to put the gear ring on and make it a planetary drive. And simple as that. We'll put the gear, now this gear ring, the nice thing, not only is the entire system modular, but the gear ring itself is pieced so that if you do chip out or lose any teeth from this material, this is sectioned so that you only have to replace one portion of this ring. You don't have to buy the whole ring. So they really did make this, not only from the packaging standpoint, but just the assembly standpoint on the job site, even repairs that can be done on site or at your shop are fairly simple. So everything is replaceable, which makes it a really great contractor professional unit. So I did want to point out each one of these gear driven heads has a bearing journal inside here with 2 bearings of support that are sealed bearings, which is, you know, anybody that's run these kinds of planetary sanding units knows there's a lot of torque on these heads, and having that kind of support in that steel, aluminum bearing journal structure is pretty impressive. Again, the whole unit being modular is repairable and bearings are able to be replaced, but they are sealed bearings. There's 2 of them, so you have a good shoulder of support on that shaft. And then this material, from what they tell me, this material is the same style material that's now used for automobile industry, for gear pulleys in those systems. So we'll put this unit on, we'll get it standing up. I did want to point out that these are 5-inch discs and these interface pads are replaceable. So, all right, let's see what we got here. So pretty painless. If you do need to line up the gears, just instead of putting your fingers in there, just go ahead and use the pads themselves to turn the pinion gear off of the gear ring. Line it up and it should drop right in. All right, just want to go over a couple quick things before we run it on the shop test floor here that still has a little bit of aluminum oxide finish and stain on it, just to give you an idea. So what we do have is the vacuum system hooked up. We have the AVAC 12. Again, you could use this on an AVAC 26, just depends on what you have available to you. We're using the Blaze 36 grit. Really try to eat through this aluminum oxide finish and give an idea of what this planetary gear system can do. We have the light on, that comes on automatically when we plug it in. The hour meter is on, and then you'll see the voltmeter come on when you engage the system, and you'll also see the current draw or the amp rating. So you're probably going to draw anywhere from 12 to 13 amps running on this. You'll probably see that spike up and down, obviously, as your either sandpaper wears out or your floor gets smoother, and you know, towards that final sanding you'll use the current will go down. So I also wanted to point out, so the HydroSand is able to be run on this. Now obviously not with that skirt system that's on there for the ring gear, but so that's the HydroSand 6-disc, and then this Super 20 HydroSand disc is also able to be run on this unit. Again, we're talking about a 3 horsepower motor here. The entire system as it stands right now with everything on it, it's about 175 pounds. So it's you know, pretty impressive, good weight system to really hit this floor. And again, if you're in a bigger open area, maybe a gym floor, and you want to use something that's 20 inches, this is a nice system. It's still 6 discs, 5-inch discs, but you can look at the pattern that we have here, a triangle pattern here, and a triangle pattern on the outside discs, which is going to give you different rotation and really kind of nullify that cross-grain scratching that you may find with other buffers. Now again, wherever you're comfortable running a buffer, you know, I'm usually just below belt height. And we should be good to go. So we did get, and that was just an initial cut. I didn't heal into this at all. We should be able to get pretty close to bare wood just on that little bit of section there. And that's aluminum oxide. So, you know, anybody that's sanded aluminum oxide knows what you're sanding is essentially abrasive in the finish. So your sandpaper is sanding sandpaper, which even if you were to cut this all the way through and get below the surface of that finish, you could then put a sander on it if you wanted to. But we're getting there with this machine. I just wanted to change positions with this and just give it a little bit more pressure and then see how it operates and how it cuts and removes the aluminum oxide. That's pretty impressive. So I'm running about 245 volts here in the shop, and we were drawing maybe 6 to 6.5 amps. Now some of that will be, you know, the sandpaper not being able to bite in a lot to increase the resistance and then consequently raise the current draw. But at 6 amps, you know, 245 volts. Now if you're on site and you're lower voltage, your amperage draw will be a little bit higher. But again, you know, this is a 36 grit, and we ate into that aluminum oxide pretty good. There are other discs available. You could use diamonds. If you really wanted to tear through this, you could use some of the concrete tools that are available. All right, so that was unboxing and a demo on the American Sanders Phoenix Planetary Sander. If you have any questions with regard to this unit, how it operates, what it comes with, you can give us a call at 800-737-1786 or go to cityfloorsupply.com.